Greetings, movie fans. You're all very welcome to the Big Reviewski with Omniplex Cinemas. My name is Owen Doherty, and I'm delighted to say that we have assembled Earth's mightiest movie heroes this week. First up,
It's Justine.
First up, it's Justine Stafford, aka Hat Lady. Okay. It's her superhero alter ego.
It is, but no hat today.
But no,
Hats off.
But that's because you're in your civvies.
Yeah,
you're in like
summer.
Normal costume. You don't want to be spotted.
No.
We also have Rory Cashin, aka Hydra Man.
Hydrant.
Hydrant
Man.
Man.
Is that your catchphrase?
No, I was Hydrant Man.
Oh, it was Hydrant Man.
Yeah, get your own joke
Yeah,
right.
no, I got it completely wrong. And last but not least, it's Palmer, aka it was like the Coddle Crusader because you're from Dublin, but it's
you put no thought in that. It was like literally like you just come up with that right now.
Pretty much.
Like you gave Justine thought and process, and there's like a connection to him. Just like Coddle. Have you ever seen me eat Coddle?
Yes, you have it every day.
Yeah, every single day before and after the show.
Look at us just inventing stuff.
It's in your top pocket there. I can see it.
Yeah.
Pocket of Coddle.
Yeah.
Well,
I do like Coddle Faddle, so yeah.
Of course. There is a wee bit of a superhero theme because obviously Avengers. What?
Who are you?
I'm just a normal person.
No.
I don't have a superhero alter ego.
No.
I'm sure it's
You're
not
Kyle.
gonna
Flyer Man.
Just Flyer Man. Kyle. Yeah, it's because obviously Avengers Endgame is out in cinemas right now. We've all had a chance to see it since last week, have we?
We sure have.
Did you actually go and see it?
We've all had a chance to see it. but
We've all had a chance to see
not all
it.
of us took that chance.
Yes, that's true. Paul, have you seen Avengers
I
Endgame?
have seen it.
Okay. And did you like Avengers
I
Endgame?
did enjoy it in
No
a way.
spoilers, no spoilers.
I thought it was more dramatic than I was expecting, and it was dramatic bits that actually got me. The action looks great, but I do think it's a bit all over the shop at times. But I did enjoy it. Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of things you said last week, Rory. Like, it's good.
Yeah.
It's entertaining.
Yes.
I agreed with both of those things.
Good.
No, I
It's
really
good
liked
and
it.
entertaining.
Yeah, because I'm so wary about like not spoiling any part of it.
As was I.
But you see that bit with the Night King, mental. But what happened is we need to go and see it again, 100%. So I think we should all go together.
Because they're doing terribly at the box office as well. Like it's
Awful.
they need your
Of
money.
course.
Yeah.
So please do help this film out and go and see Avengers Endgame.
Those poor Omniplex employees are just like, nothing to do.
Yeah.
So empty.
The so it smashed the Irish box office record for like an opening weekend ever, and it's done that in Ireland and the UK as well,
And America.
and America
And
as
the
well,
world.
and the world. So it's obviously I don't know how much money it's going to make. Do you think
All
it'll
on
be the
Rory's
big?
review. Good and entertaining.
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly. Thanks to everybody who tuned in last week and then went to see the film. As ever, we've got a cracking show lined up for you this week. We do have some other superheroes of acting. We have Moe Dunford, and we have Moe.
was a
That was
bad
terrible.
segue.
I didn't write anything this week. I should have put some
Come on,
work
Flyer
into
Man.
this.
Flower par.
Take it
So he's on the show to talk about The Dig, and we also have Bo Burnham on the show, who's going to be talking about 8th Grade, his brand new film, and probably Justine's like favourite film of the year.
That's
so
all
far.
I watched this weekend on loop. So
8th Grade
Yeah.
over and
Yeah.
over again.
How does The Rock feel about Bob Burnham?
to be honest, it doesn't bother me how he feels because
Harsh.
yeah.
Oh, you just have to see the non-screen breakup.
Yeah. Is everything okay between you and The Rock?
We're sorting some things out.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, God. We'll not
Erosion.
delve too.
The erosion of a relationship.
It's funny when a joke gets super serious.
Yeah, no. If you'd like to get in touch and give Justine and The Rock some relationship advice, you can tweet us on Twitter at Big Reviewski, because that's where you tweet people, or you can get in touch on Instagram as well. We also have some Omniplex tickets to give away, so stay tuned for our high clue later on the show. But up first, it's time for the big question on the Big Reviewski. And for this week's big question, it's over to Justine.
Hat woman. What was the name again?
Hat lady.
Hat lady.
It's like cat lady, but you just
I
loads of
see.
hats.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
So following on from Paul's strategy last week of going to see Avengers Endgame, then going for a pee and going to see 8th Grade. My question.
And it went to do a poop.
Yeah.
And go and see something else, The Dig. That was it.
Yeah, all three. My question comes from that, and it is: have you ever missed a part of a film because you had to go pee, or for another distraction or reason in the cinema?
Okay, I was racking my brain about this one. What did you go for first?
Okay, so I had to think for a while, and I like to, sometimes when you're like in a boring film and you go for a tactical peek, you're like, this will kill some time, and it happens sometimes. You just got to do it. But this was now a film I went to that I wasn't really that hyped about going. It was just on, and it was the film New Year's Eve. Right. Yeah. Bad start.
Can you
okay.
pee for 94 minutes?
Yeah,
Just, like,
I wish.
start to
Right.
The
finish.
film did, so.
Yeah. So we went after New Year's Eve. So the plot was pointless, to be honest. Cause
And
New
there's
Year's
never
Eve
going to be
happened.
another one.
I just couldn't
There's only
understand the concept.
So it was me and my friend, and we went
Robert
to
De Niro was in that?
What?
everyone.
What?
Bon Jovi's in it.
Ludacris?
Halle Berry?
Bon Jovi.
Robert De
Berry's in a
Niro
lot
and
of bad
Ludacris
films.
are the Robert De Niro and Al Pacino of that movie.
Oh, this is the one
Zac Efron, Seth Meyers, like everyone.
where Zac Efron
Who's that lady
gets it on
beside
with Michelle
Ludacris?
Pfeiffer.
Who's that
Damn
lady
right.
beside Ludacris? She's happy to be there.
It's Vera, not Vera Farmiga. It's your one from Sofia Vergara.
Is he?
I think so. It looks
Yes,
like her.
actually, yeah, you're dead right. But
I could look at that
there's just
poster
too many
all day.
people.
Sorry.
Yeah, it
Sorry.
looks like a calendar, doesn't it?
For all our listeners, we're looking at the poster, the amazing poster for New Year's Eve, which is just it looks like
board for
it looks
Guess
like,
Who,
Yeah,
like, to be honest.
Not to be confused with Valentine's Day, which I presume is a completely different film. and
completely
concept.
different.
Completely different.
They've just
Not
moved
same
all the
director at all.
faces
Yeah.
into different boxes.
Yeah.
And I think there was another one of those. That's probably
There was.
Mother's Day.
Mother's Day
Mother's
as well.
Day.
Justine, you were
Jesus, I
talking
knew
about peeing.
Yes, so I went to see this with my friend and went for the tactical pee because the storyline was just going
New Year's
nowhere.
Eve. I did
You know,
it.
Nice.
Zac Efron wasn't on the screen, so I was like, I'm out. But I came back, and like there was only about 5 of us in the cinema because it was after a storm and like it was all snow and no one was leaving the house. But I had
Wait a
cabin
minute.
fever over
5?
Christmas.
That means
There's
there's an
about
odd number. Someone went to see this romantic comedy on their own.
Yeah.
Right after New
It was
Year's Eve.
me and my friend went.
Yeah, my friend, my good friend.
This is the saddest
Could be a
story
Trace
already.
Company type deal. You never know.
Oh, it gets so much worse, right? So I came back anyway, and me and my friend were in the middle cinema. And this couple came in and sat like in the seat right beside us. And they had been there. This was like halfway through the film at this point.
Uh-oh.
And I'm like, what's going on? And I was like, okay, just keep focusing on the screen. And then I got this nudge on my elbow. And
Not from your friend.
no, not from my friend. She was on the left. Megan is her name. She's real. You can look
Sure
her
she
up. Okay.
I'll look up
But,
Megan.
the guy on the right had nudged me because he was in the process of like getting very romantic
Oh,
with his
what did you do with your
girlfriend.
hand?
Yeah, like, and I looked over and I was like, am I seeing this right? Like they're properly. This is getting them in the mood. This film, and I was like, nudge my friend. I was like, can you see this? And they kind of proceeded to, get very, very romantic with each other, and yeah, me and my friend ended up missing the film because a baby was conceived.
Oh God.
Yeah, like it.
A lot
really
of babies are
progressed.
conceived on New Year's Eve anyway. Like
Yeah.
there's a lot of
Oh, yeah.
September babies.
Yeah. So that was the reason that we missed the film because it was like which drama is more.
Just get your popcorn and turn to the right.
Yeah, that one
watch
definitely sounded like it was more entertaining.
It was like me and my friend honestly were like, was that real? Did this actually happen? But yeah, no, it did. So again, I don't know if it was because the film really got them in the romantic
Got them worked
mood.
up.
John Bon
Yeah,
Jovi's
yeah.
in it. So.
Yeah.
Ludicrous.
Look at that hair.
It's all about ludicrous.
So have you gone back to see the film since?
No.
Like, okay.
No.
Okay.
Why?
Never
No.
returned it.
It kind of triggers something in me
Fair.
because it reminds me
Arousal.
of the moment.
It's fine. It's
Yeah.
grand.
Well, whenever me and my friend meet up and we're like, do you remember that time? It's a great story now to have.
Oh,
But
yeah,
I
Definitely.
could not tell you a thing that happened in that film.
I love if you and Megan were asked to be like the godparents to the child and stuff, please.
We are, yes.
You were there for such special occasion.
Yes, a tender moment.
Yeah.
But that was my experience of missing a film.
Well, that's a damn fine reason for
Yeah.
missing part of a film.
Yeah.
100%. Paul, what did you go for?
I'm-
please.
I actually.
He's going to be like, well, I was
Well, I
having
was
sex with.
was already at New Year's Eve.
At New Year's
These
Eve.
people
I-
kept.
So I wanted
eating
to see
their
this
popcorn
ludicrous
really
film,
loudly.
right? No, actually, I'm really good at skipping out and not missing anything because I have a formula for not missing big stuff. Okay, granted, I've left the cinema to pee, but after an action or horror film, if you judge it after a big set piece or a big scare, they'll never do 2 back to back. It's like a screenwriter's rule of thumb. They'll never have 2 big beats, so you might get like
Rule of thumb.
some tiny exposition or something like that, but you'll never get a massive beat. Oh, yeah, Rory,
Right,
knock
no.
it down.
Sorry.
I was too busy answering all.
It's
Just,
fine.
I know,
Yeah,
sorry,
fine.
yeah, sorry.
You power on.
yeah, and also I'm an incredibly quick peer, which is a bit of information nobody needed to know.
No, that's
So, yeah,
good.
That's a
nobody
weird
needed to know.
flex.
I'm like
That's
the
a skill.
If you see someone like the Flash
Superhero.
just doing like Olympic like steps down, that's probably me going. Yeah, I'm pretty quick in out done. Like the door doesn't even bolt close by the time I'm back in, you know.
It's like Father Ted saying a quick mass. Yeah, straight in. Straight
But
out.
no, honestly, if you, I cannot ever think of like two big set pieces or horror scares back to back straight away. So if you actually have like a chemistry or a formula with them, if you watch them and you can do it straight after. So if there's a big explosion and then it goes to like the morning or the day or a camp, just go straight away. You won't miss anything.
It's a good tactic because a lot of people were talking about what's the best tactic for going to pee during Avengers Endgame, because it is about 3 days long.
Yeah, just don't drink for
That's it.
a while beforehand.
That's the worst thing. Do you ever like be on a date and you go back and you're like,
No.
what did I miss?
Next question.
I'm gonna die alone.
You go to the bathroom and you're like trying to ask when you come back, like, what did I miss? And like, there's nothing worse than you've missed a big thing. Like, Jesus, you went at a bad time, to be
Terrible
honest.
time to
Yeah.
go.
6 people died.
I'm similar to you, Paul, because I was trying to think. It's like I don't leave the toilet. That's it.
So you buy
Every time I go to
cinema
cinema, I
ticket
buy a ticket,
to
and
use
I
the
just
toilet.
go and sit in the toilet for 2.5 hours.
It's the best piece you'll get.
It's class. It's just a little bit of me pee time.
Oh, and where's your favourite? What's your favourite? Which Omniplex has the best
most
toilets?
comfortable cubicles in the world are there. It's definitely an Omniplex cinema.
Yeah.
But no, I never leave.
Nothing I can say would be funnier than what you said.
And that's my answer. Moving swiftly on.
If they had little cinema screens in the back of the cubicle, would you actually contemplate watching a movie there?
100%.
Clever
Yeah.
idea.
It's like whenever you
Here's
go
what
to a
you're
hotel.
missing in your screen.
Yeah, in the hotel sometimes they have a
Forget
little
IMAX.
screen in the bath.
Forget IMAX.
That's my
Forget,
favourite thing in the
forget
whole world.
Yeah.
My
Best.
concern is that they'll find my body 3 days later.
I don't even put water in the bath. I just lie in the bath and watch the TV there. But no, I don't actually leave the cinema to go and pee. I've never ever done it, as far as I can
ruined a lot of
remember.
trousers, though.
Yeah, oh, terrible. I always bring a spare
come on,
pair.
you have to-
Never. No, I swear
You
to
have to
God.
go. Like I seldom
Never.
go, but I have. Like I won't
No,
lie.
never.
Well, let's get a little bit personal here.
Okay.
You went to see Avengers the first time at the midnight screening.
Yes.
After conservatively half a gallon of alcohol.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Oh,
Yes.
So-
that's impressive.
Went
and for those,
immediately before, and didn't have to go until
but
afterwards.
we have spent extracurricular time together, and you
Yes.
go to the bathroom regularly enough when you've been.
When you've been
Drinking
like,
liquids.
It's like the seal, like. And
I
then
know,
you're-
but
The seal was broken, so you
it
sat
was-
there for over 3 hours.
yeah, and it was absolutely fine for that.
Bring a bottle or something. or
No, popcorn. Popcorn box.
Popcorn's very
really
absorbent.
salty.
soggy, this popcorn.
But one thing, one film that I have missed, and I've never gone back to watch it again, was Shrek 2.
Oh, no,
And this was
it's the best
because,
one.
well, you see, I have never gone back to, I don't know what happens at the end of Shrek 2. Never saw Shrek
3.
3rd, which is a really important part of the
Pivotal,
MCU,
yeah.
which as we established. I don't know how many Shrek films there are. But what happened was, it's the only film I've ever fallen asleep in. And I was, I'm ashamed to admit that. And it was because I was babysitting my 2 younger brothers, who were probably about like 9 and 10 at the time. Big shout out to Colin and Killian. And they
How
were...
old would you have been?
Oh, I was probably about 18 or so. Yeah, so I brought them to the cinema. My mommy and daddy were away, and the 2
Parents'
lads were
night off?
just... The which?
Parents' night off.
Parents' night off, yeah. No. And then what happened was we had a free gaff for the weekend, so it was basically looking after them. They didn't go to bed for the weekend. I was wrecked, brought them to the cinema, and they just sat watching it, and I was like, I'm gone. I'll see you later. So I conked
my
out
God.
Sound
during
you would have
Shrek
lost
2.
the Showgirls.
I would have. I tried to get in the Showgirls. We'd missed all the matinee screenings. So yeah, that's it. That's all I got. No peeing, no randy couples beside me, and just a light dose.
And no
but,
Muffin Man.
And no
You didn't even
Muffin
see
Man.
him.
No,
Yeah.
no. So who knows what happens? Well, as you said, Shrek
It's a
3.
sad day.
And everyone else who's seen it knows.
And everyone else,
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh,
Muffin
go
Man
back.
ki- Muffin
Give
Man
it
killed
another
Shrek.
go.
Give it another go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Roy, what did you go for?
Okay, this is tough. So I went on a date, as it turns out. I know I said
Yay,
earlier no
yeah,
date, but
it
we
was
went
funny.
on a date and we were sitting in the cinema. We already had all of our stuff, and the film had just begun,
Okay.
and John Travolta was talking directly to the camera. And I was like, right, so we've got some time here. And the girl I was with, she clumsily knocked her entire popcorn over.
No.
But she did it. So I was like, this is not my problem.
You're ruining one.
What a lovely
Okay,
date.
this is
So
a
I
great
was like
date.
staring ahead, pretending I didn't see what she just did. And
She's ruining wild hogs.
Rory, I was like, yeah, my popcorn friend was like,
I don't care.
okay. It's like, can I get another one? And I was like,
Oh my God, no.
fine. So, got up,
Oh no.
walked out, got the popcorn like the goddamn gentleman that I
Oh
am.
my God.
And left the cinema.
Came back,
Went
came
to the
back in,
cubicle.
sat down, and was like, what did I miss? And she looked, even in the dark, a little bit pale because this is what I'd missed.
No! Release the hostage! Gun, take cover! No, 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 let it go! Let it go! Release the hostage! Let it go! Let it go! Let it go!
So that happened. A very, very important scene because directly after this, the film, I think it says 2 weeks earlier. So it goes back in time to how Hugh Jackman and John Travolta meet. And then later on in the film, this whole scene happens again, but like in fast forward, like times 100. And I was like, what's happening there? That looked cool. And she's like, oh yeah, that was the bit that you missed.
The really crucial, important part.
One of the greatest cinema explosions of all time, and 95% of the plot was in that scene that you missed. Well, you'll get me more popcorn. We didn't go on a second date.
I was going to say.
But I did go to see Swordfish again and see that amazing explosion.
Was her popcorn good?
I don't know.
That is like ludicrous. Like if I knock my own popcorn, I go get myself now. I'm not
Yeah.
going to make someone else. Do you know what I
Ludicrous
mean?
in this one as well as New Year's Eve.
Oh,
There's
I don't know what
actually
you're doing today.
what?
Two
You're going to
X's.
run out of cards.
15 minutes
That was
in,
an
2
okay
X's.
one.
That's
Two
a
X's
new
already.
record.
Okay, those are all good, solid reasons. Like terrible reasons, but great reasons as well.
I think what we've learned is don't pee,
Don't pee.
don't have sex
Yeah.
in
Don't
the
have
cinema.
sex.
In the cinema.
Yeah.
Apparently, don't leave the toilet,
Yeah, I love that spot.
and just don't go on dates.
Okay, just be alone forever,
alone.
as we said. Yeah, that's a great job.
That feeds nicely into the don't have sex one. So
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, if there's any particular unique reason why you may have missed a crucial part of a film or all of a film, please do let us know on Twitter, on Instagram as well. And we'll not bother to read those out. Okay, cool, thanks. Now it's time for the big trailer on the Big Reviewski. And for this week's big trailer, it's over to Paul Moore.
Yeah, haven't done a documentary in a while, so I'm going to go this week with Asif Kapadia's new film on Maradona, who some people might know. Kapadia did Senna, which for my money is hands down one of the best documentaries, not just a sports documentary, just great documentary. And I think it's 25 years this week, actually, since he passed. He also won the Academy Award for Amy, if you saw the documentary on Amy, so that was really, really good. Kind of took a fresh approach to her story, which even as I'm like kind of a casual fan of hers, I watched it and I thought, yeah, it was a really interesting take. But he also did Mindhunter. He's done a few episodes of Mindhunter, so he moves away from documentaries. He come back in, like I think he's quite a good approach, because you find with some documentaries, obviously all the subjects are different, but I find it's kind of like a snooty, highbrow kind of approach. But he's not afraid to take pop culture stuff on. And with the new one about Maradona, as a football fan, it sounds incredibly good. Because like Maradona as a person, you could do anything on him, between like 86 World Cup when he single-handedly won Argentina World Cup, to 94 getting done for drugs in America, to even now, like in the last World Cup, that man was under the influence of some substances, let's just say the least. He was the Argentina manager in 06, which is a cluster of a time. But this one focused on his time in Napoli. It's interesting because before he arrived in Napoli, The club that Napoli, it's in Naples in the south, and Naples is a home of the mafia and stuff. That's kind of in cinematic terms where you know, but in football terms, all the big Italian clubs dominated from the north. Napoli never won a league, and like even now, their children still call Diego because when he came in, it coincided with the rise of the club, but also the more and more he grew as this like godlike figure on the pitch, off the pitch, he got in close with the mafia. He was spiraling out of control in his drug use, and just in terms of athletes, I don't think there's anyone who's more interesting in his life because he is literally godlike genius, but he is the most self-destructive man you'll ever meet in your entire world. But saying this is about him, I'd say would be like saying Senna is just about Formula One. That film was not about drive. I have no interest in Formula One. It was by two conflicting personalities. I think this will be literally just an exploration of a god on the pitch, but like an absolute fiend off it in terms of dealing with the mafia and his drugs and stuff. And anyone who's anyway remotely even knows the name of Maradona, I'd say watch this because Capaldi's stuff is excellent. He did another great film called The Warrior, I think was his debut. He won a BAFTA for. He's just a very smart guy. And Justine, you'll know, he produced Supersonic as well.
Yes. Justine got very excited when you mentioned documentary. Yeah. The word.
He's good mates with Matt Whitecross, who directed Supersonic, but he's a really, really talented fella. And from a Mindhunter fan, I hope he's actually not doing season 2, but his episodes in season 1 are great.
So this is a little look at the brand new documentary about Diego Maradona. It's Diego Maradona.
Io un po' di calma per favore, un po' di calma. Vi avverto che se vi avvicinate annullo la conferenza stampa.
That behind the scenes footage looks very, very cool because you could sit and watch that kind of stuff all day.
I didn't recognise any of those actors.
Roy, because you're not the world's biggest sportsing fan.
I am not the world's biggest sporting fan.
Top 20, maybe.
If would you have a World Cup of sporting fans?
You wouldn't want to be a part of it.
I wouldn't watch that either.
Would you be interested in going to see something like this, even though, as Paul was saying, like the subject matter, like Senna, again, I don't have an interest in Formula One, but I absolutely loved Senna as a documentary.
Yeah, like I will, because that director's work is great. I think, like if it can win me over, who I have a bias against anything kind of soccer related already. So if I enjoy it, then it must be great.
There's drugs in it too.
Well, that's my other bias.
And all that period.
But that's a pro bias.
When he performed Like a Virgin, that really cool period, like during the 80s and
Didn't he
stuff as well.
handball once as well?
He did a handball,
And then he scored anyway.
Yeah, this is true.
This documentary inside out.
Osmosis.
Yeah, and then Justine, we obviously know that you're very excited about it, regardless.
Of course, just documentary.
I'm in.
I'm in.
I can't wait for the Deadpool documentary.
That will be excellent.
But like, obviously, there's going to be an overlap with Supersonic and Oasis feature the
definitely.
soundtrack.
Have you not seen the picture of Maradona with the Gallagher brothers?
Yeah, they're iconic trio. Yeah.
Yeah.
Eyes glazed over like anything.
So when is Diego Maradona out in cinemas?
It's primarily, I think it's shown in Cannes. I think June is when it's been in the UK. I don't think they've settled on an Irish one, but I'd imagine it's give or take around then. But it's shown in Cannes, and I think it'd be pick up a distributor here as well. So I'd be amazed, given how popular Senna and the fact that AB won an Oscar, it'll definitely be shown, hopefully in your Omniplex cinemas soon enough.
Definitely. So that's a brand new documentary, Diego Maradona.
And that's it for this week's episode.
Sports show.
Now it's time for our big interviews on the show. We've got a double helping this week. And up first, it's Irish actor Moe Dunford. You can check out his full interview as one of our bonus features. Bonus features.
I like it.
Tick. And that's up online already. But we've got a couple of little clips from the interview now. Whenever Rory had a chance to talk to him, he came into studio and he was here.
It's our first proper in studio on set
person.
Which seat did he sit in?
Smells like Moe.
This one?
That one.
Your very seat.
And where were you sitting?
Where you're sitting.
Oh. It felt a little bit warm. Little bit. Okay. But yes, so we'll take a little look at the film first. This is The Dig.
Look at it! Where is she?
Rory, as you said last week, minimal dialogue in this. Moe Dunford plays a guy just out of prison.
Monimal dialogue.
Monimal, it's just going to work that. You know what? I'm not going to say anything else. You take it from here. What did you chat to Moe about?
Well, we had a nice big long chat, but some of the stuff that stuck out for me, like there's one scene in particular
Sorry,
where he
deep
has
and meaningful. It's fine.
Is it okay?
grand, yeah.
All right.
Keep going.
So one of the bits that stood out was there's a scene in the film where he has, you know, if someone's being nominated for an award, and they're kind of like, right, this is the clip they're going to show because this is where they're acting in this scene. And there's one scene in particular in the dig where I was like, oof, he's giving it everything in this, and I was like, how do you prepare for a scene like this that is really going to, like, I imagine this is the scene where the director's like, everyone get the fuck off the set. We can't have anyone around because he needs to focus. So I asked, how do you prepare for that day, knowing that it requires so much emotional energy?
I think it helps. We had a great guy, Craig Kenny, Coach Kenny. You might know him. He's one of the best first ADs in the country. I think, no joke now, I think a lot of it comes down to scheduling and where specific scenes are when they're filmed. So if you have a bit of a run-up, if you do the physical acting, if you have a few scenes beforehand, and then you get to know the character maybe a week in, and coach will take you aside and go, are you ready for this? We can set it for another day if you're not ready. But, you know, towards the end of the day, knowing that you have a finite amount of time, you got to go for it.
Yeah.
And everybody else was really working hard. So, I mean, you just go for it. You know, it was one of those things where everybody dived in.
Yeah.
And you might have 1-2 takes maximum to get it done before the light goes. So you just go for it.
So yeah, so he's very honest about that, and the other one was he's obviously one of Ireland's more interesting newer talents to have come up lately. He's kind of like in the mix with like Sarah Green and I guess not Barry Keoghan because Barry's gonna make more of a name for himself internationally. But like what's his name, Killian Scott and a few of the others, because they're working on Dublin Murders, which is a big new BBC show coming out later this year, which we also talk about in the bonus feature. But I asked what advice would he give to, say, the next generation after him who want to be, you know, named actors and want to make a break for themselves in Irish cinema. And this is what he said.
Well, you know, when I was starting out, I couldn't really be picky or choosy. And I think it's important to not have that mentality as a young Irish actor to go, I really admire that person's work, but I don't want to bother them. I think it's really important to see what connects with you and to somehow let that person know that that it speaks to you. I think that's the only way we can make work. The only way I've got these roles are because something connected with me and I let the person know. To just go with it and keep pushing and let the people know you want to work with them. And I know that may sound easy. It's not easy. Acting in Ireland is not easy, but we have so many stories coming out of this country. And you said it there yourself, we have so many new things coming in and so many big budget TV shows. But, you know, being an Irish actor, the real stories are made by people who care what's going on in society right now in the country. So, you know, if I could say anything to young Irish actors, or just be aware of what's happening in Ireland, and if anybody's writing a script, you let them know, or you work with a team of mates and you write your own stories and you let it grow from there.
As you said, Rory, there's as you chat to him about, he's kind of drawn to those kind of heavier kind of roles, but like in this one, because it seems like, as we said, very moanable kind of dialogue and everything as well.
Yeah.
But was there much Moe capture in the film as well?
Oh, that was a stretch, man.
It
was okay.
Can we do all of that again?
No, we can't, no. But if you do want to go see The Dig, it is in Omniplex cinemas right now.
The motion picture.
Yes.
Yeah.
Was it memorable?
Was it actually though?
Yeah.
Yeah, sweet. Happy days. So The Dig is in Irish cinemas.
Cinemas.
Right, cinemas. Right now, so you can go and check it out. And as we said, you can go and check out the bonus feature, which is up online. We're going to just start all this all over again. The other big interview on the show this week is with Bo Burnham, one of Justine's heroes, and the person who is responsible for the breakdown of your relationship with The Rock, which is very sad.
Yeah,
but you seem kind of happy about it anyway. So you had a chance to chat to him whenever he was in Dublin recently, and what was it like meeting him in real life?
It was everything and more. Like, no, it was, you know, when you're meeting someone that you've always looked up to or like just really respect, I was very nervous, yeah, and you know, looking back on it, I'm like, oh, if I could do it again, you know, but it was great just to meet him and talk, because I loved the film when I saw it, so it was great to go in really supporting what he was doing, and the transition from him doing stand-up into being a movie director, it was fantastic. So we chatted a bit about him being in Ireland and Enya featuring as such a heavy part of the film, because even I'd seen interviews before we talked about why he picked that song and how it like represents flowing, and that's like what people are like online, just trying to be constantly on. And I started off just chatting to him about how do you go about getting Enya to give you her tune, and then I kind of wanted to ask, did he ever get told what his name meant in Irish? Because as we all know, Bo is a cow. So French, you know.
I cannot wait to hear what he thought of that.
Exactly.
Definitely. So this is as we said, because like the bonus feature, this is up online as a
But bonus.
bonus
Why
feature.
are their names so wonderful? They must spend all day just writing
Just
down
thinking about
puns.
themselves. Yeah.
Yeah.
Better than Cuddle Man.
Yeah, it is better than Cattle Crusader.
Oh, there you
That's
go.
what it
Yeah.
was. But yeah, so this is him chatting about Enya and cows, basically.
Yeah.
Amazing.
One word that jumps out at me, Enya.
Enya. Oh my God. Oh, I didn't even think of this. Holy shit. That's hilarious. I had to write her a letter. Like I had to send it to her castle or something.
Oh, she does have a big castle.
I was like, how do I get in touch with Enya? I'm like, do I like write a note on a salmon and like put it in the river? Like how does one contact Enya? But yeah, she was very, very, very kind to give us that song relatively cheap.
Oh, so she got back. And
She did.
Yeah.
She
Herself
got-
personally, did she write back? Or?
I don't think. I mean, the number just went down, so that's good. All that we matter. You know what I mean? Like we could not afford the song at its original price, and the price came down after I wrote her a note. So that was very kind.
That's amazing. So, I'm not sure if you know this, but in the Irish language, your name, do you know what it actually means?
No.
Bo actually translates directly to cow.
Is that right?
Yeah.
B-O? Spelled B-O?
B-O with a father. We do like...
Okay, yeah.
Yeah. So, now there's nothing for Burnham, but it's just...
Burnham, same
Cow Burnham.
So it's, it's a cow and
Pizza
pork.
issue or something.
Yeah, it's very good.
I love the idea that he wrote Enya a letter on a salmon.
Yeah,
and just, like,
you know, because we've heard of
sent it
people
to her.
sending pigeon mail and stuff. Now
Yeah.
this is the new way. Salmon.
It seems pretty sound of Enya because that she just like lowered the price for using the song, because
She
obviously
doesn't need much money.
No, I know.
Isn't she like the richest Irish person
you
alive?
always hear these rumors that she's one of the richest musicians in the world.
She's so mysterious.
So mysterious, living in her castle, wherever it
Where's
happens
her
to be.
documentary?
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. But imagine just writing her letter and be like, "Listen, this is a really expensive song. Could you just like lower the price slightly?"
Yeah,
She's like,
but
"Yeah,
I can
grand."
imagine the letter being like, because it was such a great film to want to, I can see her being on board with it. Like, this is showing the story of, you know, kids today who this is their life.
And he's down with the kids.
She
on the
is
field.
down with the
Yeah.
kids, yeah.
It reminds me of Stephen King, isn't he? He like, if he likes the idea of someone's adaptation of his work, he'll sell the rights to his stories for $1.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
The Mist and the Shawshank Redemption were sold to Darabont for that amount, yeah.
Yeah, or if he seems like if a student like in college wants to make a short film based on one of his stories and they give him a good enough reason for doing it, he'll be like, yeah, do it. Here's it for $1.
that's
Now they
wonderful.
have to send the dollar.
They have to
Have
do
to,
it. They have
yeah.
to do it.
Once it's done, like again, he's not in
He must be
position
so
to
minted.
need
He
money.
must have about $8-9 at this stage. Like, that's incredible.
He needs it. I never heard of him or any of his films before, any of that
Yeah,
before.
exactly.
Maybe Enya just wanted a salmon. That's why he sent it on
That
the
was
salmon.
it.
That was
But a
payment.
salmon covered in ink. Do you know what I mean?
You need some bread.
It's a bit inky.
Get some brown bread and some cheese on it, though. You
Oh,
can't
that'd
just
be
have a
lovely,
raw salmon.
actually.
You
Yeah,
need
but
some
it Donegal cash.
Yeah.
So what else were you chatting about?
So yeah, kind of because the film deals with social media, I kind of was intrigued by his story is about the person that we all see who goes viral and everyone knows about them, whereby this story is about the kid who no one knows her stuff. She's out there every day putting stuff online
That's
and
us
no
three.
one's...
Gucci.
Yeah, that's us. Yeah.
But your mom follows me, so
I know, exactly. No, you've made it.
But,
In my family.
your WhatsApp group. But so I was just intrigued as to how would he feel if he could go back and maybe if he'd never hit upload, would he do that now, seeing what had happened? Because I know in interviews he's spoken very negatively about people who use social media at times and the way we engage with it and how everyone's nearly just living to perform now and living their life twice in real life and on. And I really get that and respect him for saying things like that. So I was intrigued as to if he had the chance again, would he have never hit upload? So here's what he had to say.
And given your own experience on YouTube, do you ever think, what if I was like Kayla and that I hadn't gone viral? Or do you ever think, what if I'd never hit upload?
Yeah, oh, definitely. I mean, like, that is majority of... That's the real experience of the internet. You know what I mean? I had the outlier experience, and yet we, as a culture, tend to only talk about my experience, or people like me. We only talk about the people that are exposed. And, like, most people on the internet are not blowing up. They're just sort of engaging with a small group of people, or maybe no one at all. And it's much more about the expression rather than the reception. But it was sort of a long journey for me to realize that I felt like this. It's also, that's what's important to me. It's not as important how it's received or who sees it or how many people. You know, it really is about just what you are saying and how you're engaging with it. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. Kayla engaged with the internet in a much more personal way than I did. I sort of presented like little skits I wrote, and she's really like trying to think out loud and present herself. So she's much more open than I ever was. But I wonder if, you know, I was 13 now, when the internet does ask you to be a little bit more open than it did in 2006 when I was posting. Yeah, I wonder what I would have been like. I wouldn't have handled it as well as her.
Can you remember what your first email was? We all have that, the first email account.
Oh my gosh. Yes, I can, but I can't say it because it's like my bank password.
Okay.
Like my screen name is like a password for my bank.
Still using it. That's impressive.
Yeah.
Most people want to delete that straight away.
No, not the actual thing itself. I just mean like, but
I got you.
You could like steal my identity.
Oh, that's the whole purpose of it.
Yes, yeah.
So.
You're already in my bedroom.
Sounds like a really honest, like lovely person to talk to, in spite of having like this massive global fame.
That's the thing, yeah, and it's just interesting because the more you think about it, when he was starting in 2006, it was very different online, that you didn't have to put out so much of yourself now, whereby now the internet just expects you to literally put your whole life online. So it is interesting. It's interesting to hear him say just his relationship with the internet, to hear what he actually thinks.
We were saying last week that it's pretty brave of films like 8th Grade and The Dig to go up against Avengers Endgame, but if people are looking for something that isn't like superhero or comic book related, like so many people, including yourself and Rory, you've seen as well, raving about how good 8th Grade actually is.
It's so funny. I saw him online actually saying it's open in cinemas this week, and there's nothing else to see. I've checked. There's nothing else in cinemas.
Nothing to see here. It's fine. Just trust me.
Yeah. Someone online then was like, I've seen Avengers 8th Grade. It's great, man.
So 8th Grade is in Omniplex cinemas at the moment. Highly recommended, and you can go and check out the bonus feature of Justine's very cool chat with Mr. Bo Burnham as well. So looking forward to what he does next off the back of that.
Cow Burnham. Cow Burnham.
Now it's time for this week's big releases. Decent selection coming up this week. The first one is a brand new horror film, which I think is kind of tied in with the Conjuring universe in a way. The Conjuring?
Yep.
But it is, of course, it's going to be a great pronunciation fest. It's The Curse of La Llorona.
Give it a go, Rory.
Yeah, go for it.
Because it's a double L. It actually doesn't get the L.
It's pronounced
Yorgos
Lanthimos.
The Curse of Yorgos Lanthimos. No, it's The Curse of La Coruna.
La Llorona. Oh,
See?
I'm actually really impressed. I didn't know that the double L negates any L sound. Lloyd.
It's Hoyd.
It's Lloyd. So here's a little clip of The Curse of La Llorona.
Trisha, I'm very sorry about your loss. It's your fault! I can't even imagine how you must feel. Your children
Rinsing.
are safe now. But have they heard her crying? Have they felt the sting of her tears? They will. And she will come for them. Who? La Llorona.
So that's a little look at The Curse of La Coruna, and Paul had a really good idea there as we were all crapping ourselves watching that. I think Roy should do all of this review in Spanish.
Tight.
See?
See?
What's it about, first of all?
It is about it's Linda Cardellini, who was actually in Avengers Endgame.
Of course.
She's Hawkeye's wife. She is
Mrs. Hawkeye.
she is the single mother of some young kids, and she's also a
social worker.
social worker. Thank you.
Los worker social.
El socio worker.
Yeah.
Gonna alienate those Spanish fans we have.
Yeah, she is trying to help a family out that she believes the kids are being abused in, and the mom and that is she was the mummy's girlfriend in the original Brendan Fraser mummy movies. Do you remember her? Do you remember the Brendan Fraser mummy movies?
Yeah, I'm
and do you
trying to think
remember
of Rachel
I
Weisz.
was thinking, yeah, that's
Yeah,
the first thing I thought of.
she's like Patricia Velasquez, I think her name
Oh,
was.
right, okay.
She was the one that had a big fight with Rachel Weisz.
Oh, okay.
Oh, was
Gotcha.
that The Rock? No, that's Kelly Hu in The Scorpion King, is it? All right, we're getting off track.
Spun out.
Yeah.
But she's like, no, I have to protect my kids because the La Llorona, the white woman, is trying to take my kids away.
I was going to say, is that what does it mean?
Well, she is the people call her like the woman in white, and there's a whole kind of Latino ghost story vibe thing that I won't get too detailed into because there's like a few plot elements into that only reveal themselves as the film goes on. But turns out by getting involved, she's brought the La Llorona to her own house, and then she wants to kill Linda's kids. So she's like,
Nightmare.
no one believes me. I have to go to the priests. And the priests try to help her, but they're like, we can't get involved because we don't believe she actually exists. So we're going to send you to this other dude who's kind of like a holistic priest guy. He's not really a priest, but he has all the shaky stuff that you need to protect your house.
Yeah.
Exactly. And they have to like fortify their house against La Llorona to make sure that she can't get in and snatch her kids.
So is it tied into the Conjuring universe then?
Yes. The way I described it is, did you see Get Shorty?
Yes.
And did you see Jackie Brown?
Yes.
And Michael Keaton is in them
Same
both.
character twice,
Right,
yeah.
okay.
So it's that vague
Okay.
a connection. I was expecting that like La Llorona would be someone that had popped up in one of the Conjuring movies earlier, but like it's a teeny tiny connection. It
Okay.
is in the universe, but not like if you haven't seen The Conjuring, you're not gonna be like, I don't understand
Yeah.
what's going
And
on.
obviously they're using it just in that marketing way anyway, where it's like, because people
Yeah.
love the Conjuring films. They're
Yeah.
like, well, I'll go and see this then. As we said, you're a horror aficionado.
I am
So, was it scary?
not really.
We're on a scale of none to 10.
Oh, very good.
Hey.
It is a better film than The Nun. It makes more sense than The Nun, but like just about anything could. I do think it has the best performances out of all of the Conjuring movies because Linda Cardellini, she is an amazing actress, and I think she actually deserves a lot more than what her career has amounted to so far. I think she's brilliant. And the guy in it, whose name I can't remember, but you'd recognize him from everything, the shaky, not quite priest guy. He's brilliant in this, really, really good. And I was like, oh, I want to see a film about him. And for once, the kid actors were actually pretty good as well, because normally I'm like, I hate them, poof, get them out. I hope the ghost kills you immediately.
You do hate children.
I do,
Yeah.
I do.
Repeatedly.
But, it's come up.
About how much you dislike children. Hydrant man, these children are dying. Fuck them. Don't give it a toss. Yeah, it's fine.
So yeah, but the scares are they're of the kind of everything's kind of quiet, and then a really loud sound, and that's like it's the cat in the fridge scare again. There's nothing in here that's going to keep you awake afterwards. It is a ghost train of a horror movie as opposed to like a proper scary horror movie.
Well,
but that's fine.
Yeah. Well, loads of people, like again, as we said before, Irish audiences love those
You'll
kind of
cack
films.
yourself.
I'll be fine. I'll end
That's what I'm like. You say I won't be kept awake at night. I will.
I will
bloody
definitely.
know I will.
The woman in white. Like, I'm terrified.
I love the description of she has to fortify her house though. Because I'm just picturing giving it vitamins and minerals.
I was thinking she's going to go. I was going to
water
go
and
Home
stuff,
Alone style. It's like give Macaulay Culkin a shout. The woman in white's coming.
That's a great idea for a film.
Yeah, a horror film with Home Alone. And Paul, you would know when to go to the toilet, obviously, because those scares would be there, and then you'd be like,
if they're really scary, I wouldn't have to leave at all.
Yeah.
But there would have to be a clean
yourself.
up after.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Could you conceive a baby during this film?
Conceivably.
Isn't
Key question.
Conceivably.
Isn't the director doing the Conjuring 3 though? Didn't he get this one on the back of this?
Yeah, he is. Yeah, he is. It like.
Was this like his audition? I presume they saw something he
Well,
did.
I think
They
Warner's
like
is
it.
not doing another Conjuring. I think he's tied up with whatever he's doing with DC next. But like again, he got some great performances, and the film looks really good. It looks very slick and expensive, even though I think it only cost like 9 million or something. Only 9 million.
Yeah.
But yeah, it just hopefully.
He dials it up a bit more for the Conjuring 3.
Yeah, maybe the script just gives him more horror set pieces to work with. Because in this, it is just like, she's at that door. No, I got it. And run to the back door. She's at that door now. It's just constantly that shaky guy's like, I put down this new magic formula. And it's just candles blowing out, and it's just
Marv and Harry pop up.
Yeah, exactly. She's teamed up with the Wet Bandits. That would be amazing. So the
Los Wet Bandits.
Los Wet Bandits. So the Curse of La Llorona is in Omniplex cinemas. Getting there. Is in Omniplex cinemas this week, so you can go and check it out if you are a horror fan. Up next, in case you're not into the horror, we've got a comedy for you. It is the Curse of La Long Shot. And let's take.
That's going to confuse people. I think
It actually is. It's just called Long Shot. Just Long Shot. Starring Seth Rogen and Charlize Theron. And here's a little look at the film.
What is the relationship exactly?
I used to babysit for him.
You babysat for him? Wow, time has not been kind.
I need some writers to punch up my speeches.
Fred's writing is really good.
And he knows me.
Oh, I feel so scared.
In order to write better for you, I should kind of get to know you better if you have a minute.
I actually have 7.
7 minutes in heaven. What is your favorite book as a kid?
The Velveteen Rabbit.
Favorite song?
Must Have Been Loved by Roxette.
Most embarrassing moment?
I don't embarrass that easily.
I don't either, really.
What's your favorite sexual position?
Normal? Front-facing normal? What kind of question is that?
All it took. Look at you.
What's your favorite sexual position?
Don't be gross, Fred.
So a few shows back, we had Long Shot as our big trailer of the week. And we had special cameo appearance from Mr. Brian Sheehan, a pal of ours who, he's not the world's biggest fan of romantic comedies. So he was finding it a little bit hard to get excited about it because he feels like they go through the same kind of routine of like, well, they meet and then this happens and then there's a bit of conflict and then they all get together in the end. Which, yeah, but it's about the journey. It's about getting there. And this premise for this one, that Charlize Theron is Seth Rogen's old babysitter and she's now Secretary of State. And he's this journalist, and they seem to team up. Well, from the trailer anyway, in terms of he's helping her write speeches and kind of like, hey, let's rekindle that kind of friendship that we had before. Maybe see what happens off the back of it. Is it any good?
Yeah, it is. Because I think we were talking about like romantic comedies when they get them wrong can be terrible. Yeah. But when they get them right are some of the nicest, most enjoyable films to watch. But I feel like it's been a while since
New Year's Eve.
Like New Year's Eve.
Yeah.
Pity you missed that one.
Yeah.
It's a real shame. So like Charlize Theron and Seth Rogen have amazing chemistry in this, but as I've said, Charlize Theron could have amazing chemistry with this bottle of water. So like she has. It's unfair that someone who looks like her has such amazing comedic timing, because we know she is funny anyway from like even her episodes of Arrested Development. And I think she was in the best episode of
Between Two Ferns?
Yes,
Yeah, that
with
was
Zach
great.
Sal.
Charlize Theron.
And just
Oh,
the
amazing.
stuff she says to him and that, like, is just brilliant. But yeah, and then Seth, he's played a stoner in everything. And in this, his IQ does seem a bit higher. He does seem like to be genuinely good at his job as initially an investigative journalist and then a speechwriter for her. And the reason she kind of warms to him is because by becoming Secretary of State, she kind of had to close herself off, and then she's reminded of who she was, spending more time with him, and it's nice to spend time around people who know you really well, and blah, blah, blah. But again, like, he's just a stoner again, but like a smart stoner who can write speeches, and you're just like, if you'd actually just done something slightly different, I would have bought this a bit more. You have to, like, rom-com is a bit like sci-fi. You have to just kind of accept the rules of the movie you're watching, because when you see the two of them, you're like, no,
this is
just not a thing that happens. But because the two of them do have really good on-screen chemistry, you just kind of have to accept it and you buy it. It is funny and it's cute and it's romantic, and it, as Brian correctly said, you see how it's going to end 5 minutes from the start of the film, but you don't care because you're watching Charlize Theron and Seth Rogen, and that's fine.
Yeah. Paul, are you a fan of rom-coms in general? Because you weren't there for that heated debate over kind of because the fact I love them.
Yeah,
I love good ones.
Yeah,
good ones are great.
Yeah, 100%.
They do. Rory makes a point. They do live and die by the chemistry more than anything else. Like, okay, the jokes. Yeah, you have to go, but like stuff like The Wedding Singer, I'll watch repeatedly. I love The Wedding Singer just because Barrymore and Sandler, even 50 First Dates, they're one that just have it really, really good. The Apartment is one of the best films of all time. It is a romantic comedy as well, but it's also really dramatic. Again, amazing chemistry, brilliant writing. Billy Wilder stuff I watch. Yeah, like I do love them, but it's just a shame that some of them, so many go for the generic cliche stuff as opposed to maybe trying something a little bit different. Like even stuff like In Search of Midnight Kiss, that's one of my favourite films I've ever seen. I've seen the black and white film, it's a rom-com, but technically it's something a little bit different. So yeah, I would just love people working in that genre. Like in horror as well, like bad horror is terrible. Just to do something a little bit different and by pairing even Theron and Rogen, you'd never think that in a million years. But I do like the both of them. I'm just very curious to see what they're like.
Yeah, I'm wondering, did Seth Rogen, did he write any of this? Was this his idea? Do you know who I'd like to cast as my love interest in this one?
Knocked Up, I didn't like him and Heigl together. They didn't seem like they liked each other at all.
No.
And I liked Knocked Up, but like it was like, no, they did not seem
That's
to
not
have
working
any
for you.
chemistry at all.
Now, Rory, I know you said that this kind of stuff doesn't happen in real life, but one, you have met Charlize Theron before, and you had a bit of a sexy encounter with her. Like, would you like to tell the room what happened?
He's a journalist in the film. You're
I
a
know.
journalist.
I was hoping this wouldn't come up. And she has history precedent for liking the company of Irish men. Because she used to date Stuart Townsend.
That's right, of course.
When I interviewed her like a million years ago for A Million Ways to Die in the West, and the interview begins with her calling me a stud, which I'm getting engraved on my goddamn headset.
That's a nice life highlight.
Where do you go from
there?
Where do you go? You can't go anywhere.
There's nowhere to go from there.
So
marriage to Charlize Theron.
Yeah, that's it. I'm very happy for the pair of you. So that's you hooked up with Charlize Theron. You got The Rock and Bo Burnham. Paul, do you want to hook up? Yeah, don't come into my cubicle. I'm in there for hours. That's my one. So Long Shot, highly recommended then, out in cinemas this week, which is great. And one other release which is out this week, I can never get the name of this film. It's really long.
I wrote the review, and as I went back to read it, I was like, I have spelt it, or I've misworded it differently every single time.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's Extremely Wicked.
Look at me.
Yeah.
Okay,
go on.
Extremely Wicked.
Yeah.
What was that Tom Hanks with Up Close? Extremely Loud. Extremely Wicked.
Make cultural learnings for great
Vile. Very, really evil. Shockingly evil.
Yeah.
And so vile.
Just vile.
Just really
Close
vile.
enough.
Yeah.
Extremely wicked, shockingly evil, and vile.
And vile. So this is the brand new film starring Zac Efron about what they seem to have made is like sexy serial killer Ted Bundy. So let's take a little look at the film.
This case is about catching a monster.
Ladies and gentlemen, I am that innocent suspect.
You
are skating on thin ice, partner.
The media has convicted Ted before he's had his day in court.
I'm gagged, and you're not.
I wonder whether he did it or not.
I'm more popular than Disney World.
Did you do these things?
Absolutely not. Let me get back to plotting my escape here.
That's a sexy Ted Bundy.
Isn't it?
Yeah.
Woo.
I mean,
Yeah.
okay. We were discussing earlier, like, Zac Efron, he isn't the worst actor in the world. Like, when used correctly, he can be great. Not great. He can be good, and he is good in this, I think. The problem is, well, two problems. One is Lily Collins.
Yep. I agree there.
Oh.
Not a fan of her.
Really?
Yep.
Why not?
She's where interest goes to die.
Yeah, like, I've seen her in films. There's a film she did called To the Bone, and it was about anorexia, and she has anorexia in it, and I just have so many issues with that plot in that film, especially as someone who had an eating disorder. For her to agree to that plot and storyline, I was like, you are, like, why? Because it's just so non-realistic at all. It's exaggerated to the ends, but there's where my issue comes. And the acting was just...
So she plays his love interest in this?
His wife.
His wife,
Yeah.
okay.
Mrs. Bundy. But...
They're different things. Love interest and they're different things.
That's something to come back around to.
Owen might not be
Mrs. Owen. Mrs. Owen. Anyway, yeah, like, so the thing with Lily Collins is, one, her character in this is an idiot. Like, and when every police officer in America and witnesses and, like, bloody weapons are being found, and she's like, no, I don't, no, it's not him. And also she's just a, not a terribly good actress in this either. And two, the film seems to think that this is almost like Catch Me If You Can. Like, the vibe it's going for
Like
is...
a caper.
It's like, doo-doo, you'll never catch me, you cops, you'll never catch me. It's like, no.
Bludgeon.
He's killed, according to him, at least 30 people in the space of 4 years.
And had sex with some of the corpses.
Yes.
Yes, so don't, like, this is serious stuff, like.
Yeah, it's about as evil and vile as humanity one person can get. But the film seems to think that just because Zac Efron and therefore Ted Bundy is, like, super hot, that we should just, like, understand why people forgive him. Like, there is a kernel of an idea in there where it's like the cult of celebrity allows people to get away with more. Like, you just have to see some of the terrible stuff that, like, famous people have done lately, famous attractive people have done lately, and then the Twitter reactions like, oh, I wouldn't mind him doing that to me, lol. It's like, no. Like, even the reaction to this trailer, people were like, oh, I wouldn't mind Zac Efron murdering me if it meant a night. And I'd be like, what? Yeah. But, like, the film doesn't go there with enough in it. Instead, it's just like Zac Efron's character, Zac Efron's version of Ted Bundy is like, you think it's me? I guess we'll never know, will we? And I'm just gonna scoot along across the
sexy and charming.
Yeah,
and
it's
I'll
just
kill you.
the tone it decides to take is all wrong for you.
It's just crazy that it's the same director who did the documentary
Yeah.
series about it, because, like, in that it comes across of, you know, he was getting away, like, as in not getting away, but people were like, oh, because he is good looking. And I can see what they're going with, and, like, that is what happened. That
A
people...
member of the community, wasn't he? He was Bundy, was he a trained lawyer? or something
Yes,
like that,
yeah.
Or he's like, nobody with that job could do that. I was like,
suspect that,
but that
yeah.
was the mindset of a middle American, I guess.
So I get that that's what they kind of wanted. There's something to do with Zac Efron, but
Okay.
I haven't seen it, so...
It does seem like good casting, though, like in terms of Bundy in real life and Efron's look. I mean,
They are similar.
what's the performance like?
He is, like, he's good in it. Like, he's good in it, but, like, afterwards he was saying, he was like, oh, you know, I'm still almost practically traumatized from having played Bundy in this film. There's one glimpse in the trailer where you see him with a crowbar, he bonks a lady on the head with it. That is the only violence in the entire film.
What?
Oh,
Like,
right.
he doesn't do anything.
Okay.
In the whole film, there is. Like, the whole film is just him being arrested by the police and telling Lily Collins that he didn't do it, and then going to court, proving that, like, they don't have enough evidence to convict him. Like, there's no There's nothing in there where it'd be like, oh yeah, that's where he got into the mindset of Ted Bundy.
Okay,
It's just-
gotcha.
so it seems like it's glamorizing it so much. I don't know, from the trailer anyway.
I'd understand if they glamorized it in the right way.
Yeah, it's
like
just
if they
been
leaned
so-
harder into how the public's perception of him allowed him to get away with so
Yeah.
much. But instead, it's just like, look how hot he is.
Yeah.
Do you
Well,
think
So
he'll
dangerous.
get like seen in a different light and maybe offered a few different types of roles now? Because I think I don't mind him, to be honest, but only when he's supporting character and kind of in the background. Like, but I wonder now, will he be elevated to the leading man status on the back of it? What you reckon?
No, he's not. Like he's not that good an actor. he really is. Like, and this film, I imagine, didn't cost a lot of money to make. So he'll get more films like this that are smaller and maybe more interesting for him. But
Still
you're
a
right. Like
supporting
anything outside of like when you see him in Neighbours, when you see him in Baywatch, when you see him when anything that has money in it, he's always playing second fiddle to someone who's more charismatic and interesting to watch.
Did you see he was at a football match in England last week and everyone was like, oh, the actor from this. I was like, the actor from High School Musical. Can we
Musical.
please
It's always
bring
High
it
School
back?
Musical. Yeah. Okay, so not recommended then. But in terms
But do
of,
watch that documentary, the original one from
Yeah,
the same
think
director.
that's-
Yeah. And it is a bit like kind of. Has anyone had a conversation with that director? Is everything okay? He just
Yeah,
seemed to be
I
a
just-
little bit
How
obsessed
can
with Ted
he-
Bundy.
But I just don't understand how you can do both versions.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Especially when you know so much about it. So that is, we can do this. Extremely wicked, shockingly evil, and vile.
Boom.
Sweet. Happy days. Don't go
marks.
see it. But as we said, you've also got Long Shot, The Curse of La Coruna, The Dig, 8th Grade, and Avengers Endgame. So loads to choose from in Omniplex Cinemas at the minute. And if you would like to win some Omniplex Cinema tickets, we've got them right here for you. And all you have to do is enter our High Clue competition. It's metaphorical and pointing at the words on the card. The words right here
See, I
for
take
you.
everything you say very literally.
Very
Yeah,
literally.
yeah.
So I want to say a big congratulations to everyone who got our High Clue right last week. It seemed like it was a pretty easy one.
Yeah.
A lot of correct entries. So, yeah, just way too easy. So our winner was Joe C. And
Josie.
AKA, yeah, Joe,
Josie.
and then the letter C. AKA on Twitter, his name is Joe Bamba, which is a pretty cool
Joe
name.
Bamba.
Yeah, Joe Bamba.
Great
and
name.
self-described hotter than the sand, bigger than the ocean. So I don't know
Big
what.
talk.
So I
That's
don't
a
know
big
what
bio.
any of that. It is a good bio.
Feel it.
What is it? Is it from something? I'm trying to think. Is it a film or a lyric or something? But anyway, congratulations to Joe to Joe Bamba.
Showgirls.
So last week's High Clue, we'll take a quick look at it. It was Space Cowboys, Suit Up, Cover Letter for Fresh Job, Pugs Better Than Bug, and the final line was Pug '(S) better than Bug. So Space Cowboys, Suit Up, Cover Letter for Fresh Job, Pugs Better Than Bug, and the answer, of course, which Joe Bamba got, as well as loads of other people, was...
Here come the. Oh, no one's going to sing along with me. Men in Black. There you go. Just
it
Ian.
was...
I was afraid copyrights.
Copyright. It was,
Will
of
Smith's
course,
everywhere.
Men in Black. Well, starting with the third line, Pug's Better Than Bug. That's Frank the Pug, who's one of their friends.
Who voices
to
the pug,
the-
actually? I don't know.
Not 100% sure.
No,
actually.
No one famous, is it?
Is better than Bug because the bug in the film is obviously the alien.
Vincent D'Onofrio?
Yeah, he plays it brilliantly. And then the middle line, Cover Letter for Fresh Job. That was in reference to Will Smith getting his new job. He was the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air as well. And the cover letter was Jay. He becomes Jay, and they all have their individual letters as well. And the first line, Space Cowboys Suit Up, obviously the Men in Black suits. And Tommy Lee Jones was in Space Cowboys as well. So,
Terrible film.
Clint Eastwood
What?
director.
Space Cowboys.
oh, I thought you were saying Men in Black was a terrible
No,
film.
that's
Oh
a great
God,
film.
oh God, Men in Black's amazing.
Yeah.
I haven't watched Space Cowboys.
Jesus, what was the last film Levinson did?
It was a horror film called The Bay,
Was it?
which has one of the greatest jump scares I've ever seen.
Was it about
The
Michael
Bay
Bay?
spelled B-A-Y or B-A-E?
B-A-E.
It's a horror film about the fan base of Beyonce. It's The Bay.
So that was last week's High Clue. It was Men in Black. Everybody ready for this week's one? Pens, brains, paper at the ready.
Counters.
In that
here
order.
we go. So, first line. Miller time for Walt. Troop hunting brotherly troop. One-armed Heisenberg. So, Miller time for Walt. Troop hunting brotherly troop. One-armed Heisenberg. And, Justine?
It checks out. We've
It
got
checks out.
575.
575. We're laughing. For everybody who's listening, Miller time for Walt. Walt is the name Walt with a capital W. Troop hunting brotherly troop. The first troop is and the second troop is T-R. Why can I not say those letters?
T-R.
T-R-O-O-P. And then the last line, one-armed Heisenberg, with a capital H on Heisenberg. So Miller time for Walt, troop hunting brotherly troop, one-armed Heisenberg. Any ideas?
I think I know one actor.
Okay, sweet. Happy days. Rory, Paul, any?
I have an idea.
Okay.
Yeah.
So yes, if you'd like to give the High Clue a go, you can get in touch with us on Twitter, on Instagram, and up on Joe as well. And you can be in with a chance of winning those Omniplex tickets. And we've got a brilliant show lined up for you next week. God, I'm knackered after all that there. But we have
every week.
I know Bo Burnham
me
and
feet
Mo,
all day.
Mo and Bo were on Joe this week.
Mo Bo.
And next week
Joe Bo.
it's next week it's the star of Pokemon, Poe on Joe. Pokemon. Oh, Pokemon whenever you're absolutely puking. It's Ryan Reynolds.
Oh,
It's
there
Ryan
he is.
Reynolds.
He's
Yeah.
so unattractive.
Incredibly gorgeous.
He's
And so is he. So yes, we are going to have Ryan Reynolds, who is the voice of Detective Pikachu, in the film, and just like an all-round hero of a
Lovely,
human
lovely
being.
guy.
Yeah, definitely.
I
He's
can't wait for
Deadpool, everybody.
He
He's
is
Deadpool.
Deadpool.
He is, of course.
Fantastic link. I
Yeah.
can't wait for everyone to see how that interview begins.
Yes, again, if you thought Roy's encounter with Charlize Theron was sexy, wait till you see this one.
Stud.
It's
So yeah, that all good? That us done? Anything else we
can't
need
wait.
to? Yeah.
Any more Mo puns? Anyone working out? Time to Mo. It's time to Mo.
It's time to mow.
I need to pee.
Yeah.
I was like, need to pee isn't a Mo
we all-
joke.
Yeah. There'll be more. No, I just said the word more. I meant to say Mo. Anyway. Okay, we'll see you next week.
Mojo.
Bye. Thanks for watching. Lost it.
Adimos.
Animals!
Animals.
Oh, you're getting a tick for that.